Today's Teacher of the Week is 84 years old, and according to her colleagues, she's the first person at work every day and one of the last to leave Eau Claire High School every night.
That's incredible, but the road to the classroom wasn't an easy one for Dr. Barbara Fisher.
That road was paved with discrimination, but never doubt. Here's a look inside her classroom.
I was born in 1938. I've been teaching 54 years. I graduated from school in 1956, high school. Back in those days, we all had to go to a northern family member. There was no talk about college.
At just 18 years old, Barbara moved in with her great aunt Louise. She got a job at AT&T. She says they told her she spoke well. The money she made on that job gave her the chance to move out and get an apartment.
And next door was the man I was going to marry. I was a young girl who had never had a boyfriend, but he told me that I was in love. Jeez. Well, to make a long story short, we didn't make it, but we had 3 children.
Her marriage ended. She had small children and a basic education, but she knew that there had to be more to her life.
And I wrote President Lyndon B. Johnson, and I told him my story. He wrote me back. Don't ask me where the letter is.
President Johnson's letter outlined how she could get help for her children, but another man, who some may say has a higher calling, and a different piece of advice for her.
The Catholic priest at my church, Christ the King, said, you know, you really should go to college. I went to Winston-Salem State University. My major was business, but I didn't know math.
But even that wasn't a big enough challenge to stop her, and another chapter in her book of life was written when the dean of her college told her it was time to break racial barriers at Southern Illinois University.
My love for writing came about when I got my dissertation, when I had to work on my dissertation. My study was to study the African American child according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
It would take 3 times before she was able to defend it successfully. During that time, she met her second husband. They've now been together 47 years. They moved to Columbia, and she became the chair of the Department of Education at Allen University. After a short stint there, she came to Richland School District 1 in the early 80s.
And I got a job at Creighton Middle School, and that was my first job in Columbia.
With that much experience in education, she looked at the chance to become a principal. But the final interview question just didn't sit well with her.
I said, why would I fire a teacher when they need to work? They've already bought a car and a house and all, and I'm going to fire them? I said, what I ought to do is to give them a professional development to try to help them to get up to where you think they ought to be.
Because of more than a half of a century of dedication to education, we are recognizing her at Eau Claire High School as the News 19 Teacher of the Week. Congratulations! You are our Teacher of the Week.
If you can ever believe that God prepares you at a young age to be what you're going to be, then be the best of what you're going to be. These children are weaker, but wiser, and they don't mind telling you what they think. So I've learned to simmer down a little bit. I can't fight them. Mothers, 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 love your children. If you don't know how, say, I love you. Because they come to me to hear me say it to them. My life opened up as a teacher, so I was meant to be a teacher. You never know how your life is going to work out.
I could have spent all day with Dr. Fisher.
That wasn't even long enough. I needed to learn more.
There are so many levels to her story that I I had to leave out.
That was just scratching the surface.
That was
like when somebody has
literally
lived that many lifetimes, you know, I want to hear more about each one of those lifetimes. That was way too short.
And you could probably see me in the video. I'm sitting in one of the students' desk and I'm just like this.
Wait, that's
Just listening.
hilarious. So she said she didn't want to be a principal because she wouldn't fire a teacher. I love her. She's like, forget that. We just got to make them better.
What I love about Dr. Fisher is, of course, she used these names, and some of these people are still known in Columbia. And I was like, let me cut these.
Wait, the names of who she was going to fire?
No, who she interviewed
wouldn't
with and some of these things. And, you know, at 84 years old, you say what you want to say, but I decided I was going to protect y'all. But Dr. Fisher would put y'all on blast, and now I know who you are.
Dr. Fisher can say whatever she wants to say in my book. I just learned from her, and I could have listened to her talk for another hour and continued. Okay, wait, she said this.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
do this and do this.
I mean, just everything from.
What was she saying? She doesn't feel like, was her point, she didn't feel like some mamas give their kids enough positive reinforcement?
Yeah. And I asked her, I said, what's the difference between students 50 years ago and students today? And she said 50 years ago, when you told a student, put your pencil down, put your pencil away, they just did it. There was nothing, there was no back and forth. There was no, you just put it away.
So that's what she was responding to when she said, I don't fight with them anymore.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not fighting with them.
Fine, keep your pencil out. Don't listen.
Yeah, and then she talked about cell phones, and she's like, you know, these kids feel like it's an appendage. You ask them to put their cell phone away, and it's like you're taking away an arm or a leg.
How does she deal with that?
They listen. They listen to Dr. Fisher, you know. I know she joked about it, like I can't fight them, but those kids have respect for her that they probably don't have for other adults.
All their teachers. Yeah, that's wonderful.
But again, this could have been an hour.